Hi guys, welcome back to Shades on 11 Healing. Let me cleanse up a little bit. Okay, great. So today we are actually going to do an unboxing, right? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. So today we are going to basically unbox this new deck that I got today, right? So this is a basically Runic Oracle deck, so which is known, the name as you can see is the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle deck, and this is a 24 card deck. It will have a guidebook and it is given by Athene Noctua. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but in case I'm not, so I got this one from Amazon. And yeah, so I have not I have just opened the seal, but I have not you know seen what is inside the box at all, so I'm going to do it now, and I hope that everyone likes it and it's I like it mostly. So right off the bat we have the guidebook, and at the end we are also going to pull a message for the collective from the runes. Okay, now I'm not going to really look through the guidebook. I mean, I have a more or less like a very basic 10% knowledge of the runes, and the runes basically are a form of language which is, I think, the ancient language of the Nordics. So I think it's like a Nordic language and it's ancient German. So it is the, you know, like ancient forms of Germany, of the German language, which and they were mostly in symbols. So just like many things in even Indian philosophy and other cultures, so symbolism is a big deal, and these runes are basically symbols, and they had been used previously by the Nordic culture as far as I'm aware, and they are still in use for divination. So these are not runes, but these are basically cards which contain the symbols of the runes. And so I don't have a rune set yet, so maybe I'm going to buy a rune set sometime in the future. But I've got a card set, I think the oracle card set. I thought that it would be helping me a little bit because it would have additional messages, and so I would get like an insight from that. So that was my main aim behind going for purchasing a deck instead of the runes itself. So I'm going to buy the runes later, but I think I need to get associated with them first. So this is it. This is the unboxing. So this is the back ends, like this is the artwork which is behind each deck, and this has all the symbols of the runes actually surrounding a very pretty moon, and it's a very light energy and along with a lot of stars, so it's a very light cosmic type of energy. It's simple, but I think it gives the meaning of it, right? So yeah, okay, and now we are going to do a small, it would feel, I guess, like little bit like an ASMR, but yeah, let me just zoom in a little. Yeah, okay, perfect. So I hope it's in the center of the camera. Yeah, great. So the first card is Fehu. um it's like a squirrel with an apricot, if I'm not wrong, or like an acorn or something. It's It's quite pretty. It's like it's getting something, receiving something. Fehu usually means abundance, guys. Okay, then we have Uruz, bull. It gives a little bit of the Taurus vibes, and I did read about Uruz, so I don't know if like I think I have forgotten a lot, but I think Uruz did mean somewhat of vitality, which is also denoted by the bull. And I love how the leaves are very green. There is clear quartz below over here. And the moon is, it's a crescent moon. Pretty. So it shows the beginning of something, like something is yet to come into fruition. Then we have Thurisas. Yeah. Nice. The wolf. Fire element. A full moon. Oh, it could be something, maybe if somebody draws it during the full moons, it is very, I think, going to be symbolic. There are roses and thorns. Wow, interesting. Answers. Nice. Raven. This is definitely, message. Definitely message from the realms because it's bearing the message. See, this is why I got the deck. It is kind of self-explanatory, and also one more reason why I think I'm going to love the deck is because there is animal symbolism, which is what really helps me, and I don't have a single deck which shows animal symbolism, so I wanted to get it. So this deck is going to, whoever buys this deck, this is kind of going to, and this is not like a paid promotion or something, it's just an unboxing and my honest opinion. Yeah, so I think it is, why I bought it, because there were two reasons. Firstly, the crow, and the crow. Okay, maybe the crow has a message. Firstly, it's because the runes, I wanted to study deeply about it, and also because it has these animal symbolisms, and I did not have a single deck on animals, so that's why. Okay. Raido, this means rider, like riding, like travel. It is synonymous to the chariot card in the tarot. Wow. Oh, I said chariot, and see, Cancer. Cancers like water elements, whale, and jellyfish. Ah, yeah. Yes, definitely. Kenas. The cards are, slippery. It's like the thickness is good, and these are pocket size. Actually, I got the pocket size because my hands are not very big. This is my size of my palm, so I need to, if I don't buy pocket size decks, it's difficult for me, but it's good because I can save a little bit of money also. So yeah, happy me. Kenas. This is also, this could be something about knowledge or wisdom or gaining knowledge, because we again see a crescent moon. See, crescent moons are a great symbolism. Okay, so I just take a little bit of this time to discuss about, your symbolisms, because I think that many people keep asking me, many of my clients also ask me that what is the meaning of these symbols and all of these things. So now, if you look at this crescent moon, these crescent moons, they always show that something is starting and something is building. So unlike full moons, which it means that there is a completion of something, there is an ending of something, or a goal has been attained, or you are very near to the goal, wherever you see a crescent moon, you can understand that that is the beginning of something. It has not yet reached a peak. Okay, so when this crescent moon is shaped like this, and it's like, it's building into a full moon, that means that something is building. And from the full moon, again we go to the new moon, to the no moon, to the new moon. Like, to no moon means just the disappearance of the moon for like a few days from your sky. And that is because that what that shows is that the goal has been reached and met, and now this thing is ending. So something is falling down, something is breaking. So these crescent moons are always showing those type of symbolisms, not that something is getting fulfilled or something is at its peak, but it's rather that something is actually beginning, or something is moving, like either it's increasing or it's decreasing. So you're at the brink, of something new, or you are slowly removing from something. So that is the energy of a crescent type of moons. Okay, so that is a symbolism that is very interesting. If there's owl, there are books, so it's kind of giving me a little bit of the Harry Potter vibe also. And there's also the fire element, so very interesting. Next we have Gibo. The symbolism looks like an X. So over here there is a symbolism. So this looks like an X. It looks like a 10, And wait, is this the 10th card? No, it cannot be the 10th card. Just give me a second. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's not the 10th card either. Okay. So we have the imagery of a swan, right? And there's a beautiful flower. I don't know what flower is this, but yeah. And we have a fuller moon. So that's quite pretty, I think. Unjo. So basically runes are these symbols. And this is like a hummingbird. I'm not sure. But I think there is something to do with messages. Because see, whenever we see birds, they bear some message. So I think that it could denote about some messages. Unjo. Nice. Then we have the Hagalas or the Hagalas. Don't really know the correct pronunciation. Oh, and it also looks like a little bit like an H. So I think the pronunciation. The symbolism, it's easy. From this symbol, you can remember the letter 2. And we have a scorpion. Wow. I love how the sting of the scorpion is so highlighted with the blue color. And you see how this energy from its sting is actually going and trying to, wrap the moon. Okay, again, a little bit of symbolism drop and a little bit of talk about astrology. Doing this at 12:47. Scorpio is a very intense sign. And whenever moon is in the sign of Scorpio, it is considered that during this period of time, or like if you have a natal moon, your natal moon is in Scorpio. Sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, if your natal moon is in Scorpio, then this actually, it is considered that the moon basically loses its energy or dies in the sign of Scorpio. Or even if it's in the 8th house, which is the original house of the Scorpio sign, because Scorpio is the 8th sign, it is a sign of transformation. And not just transformation, because I think everyone knows that Scorpio is a sign of transformation, but where is the transformation? How many transformations? So that those are like some of the common questions, right? That what just transfer? It's not just transformation. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, these three are water signs. So the 4th, 8th and 12th houses are considered to be water houses. And these are also considered to be the exit points of the soul. So sometimes if somebody has a planet or running a dasha of this houses, which is the 4th, 8th or 12th house, and if there is some kind of difficult aspect or some kind of issue happens, then many a times actually the soul goes through an exit point. Basically the human body dies and the soul goes through an exit point for another journey, right? So Scorpio is a very potent sign for that. Okay, the 8th house. And moon functions best in the flowing water, because if you think about Cancer, the sign of Cancer, it is flowing water. Okay, similarly Pisces has the energy of oceans. It is ruled by Jupiter in the traditional Vedic astrology, and the new or the modern aspects of astrology, or the tropical aspect of a tropical field, tropical side version, that area studies considers Neptune as the ruler of Pisces. So whatever it is, Pisces is considered and associated with oceans. And Cancer is associated with flowing water, and I think it is more to do with freshwater bodies or like small water bodies, but it is flowing, the waters are flowing. But Scorpio is actually the water which is still, it is stagnant, it is not flowing, and that is why moon does not function very well in Scorpio, because the natural flow of moon, which is moon also ebbs and flows. And always remember that the tidal energy is also guided by moon, because of moon's I think gravitational forces or whatever physics is there, physics and geography is there, because of that. So see, that planet it rules over water. Okay, if you consider moon is basically the planet which has control over our water bodies. That is why with the new moon, with the full moon, we experience the tides and we experience the flow of water in our water bodies as well, right? If there is some flood, then the potentiality of the potential and the intensity of that flood is way higher if it is happening near or around the full moon, right? So that is why, because moon is considered with motion, and moon itself, because if you know about the study about how moon had how the Chandradev, so moon is considered to be feminine, but actually if we see from mythological perspective and the perspective of gods and goddesses, moon's it is Chandradev, it's a devta, it's not a devi. So Chandradev and the story of his 27 wives, from where we get the 27 lunar mansions or the nakshatras. If you look into that, he loved only Rohini, so he had one wife, and that is why he was cursed by the father of all those 27 princesses, that moon is going to die. So Lord Shiva saves moon, Chandradev, and that is how Chandradev gets his waxing and waning phases. So he basically wanes and then waxes, like that's how he functions. Okay, so moon is considered with motion. Even in astrology, wherever moon is placed, you can consider that aspect or that house will have an ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. Like it will see changes and it will see fluctuations mostly. If your money, if it's connected to second house, if it's connected to 11 second house, you will see fluctuations of money. If it is connected to 10th house, you will see fluctuations in career. So fluctuations will always be there. Okay, wherever you have moon, so it is moving in nature highly. And even if you see how fast moon travels, like moon as the in astrology we consider all the planets all as planets. So although moon and sun are from the perspective of astronomy or physics, those are stars, but in astrology we call them planets. It is the only planet that travels the fastest. I mean, the planet that travels the fastest. Within 2 to 2.5 or 2.7 days, it changes the signs. So today, if it's in one sign of Scorpio, let's say, then maybe by 6th, it will be moving to Sagittarius. Okay. So that is the reason and Scorpio is very stagnant. It's a fixed sign. Again, Scorpio and Leo and so Taurus and Aquarius. So these are the fixed signs. So whenever moon is in fixed sign, especially in Scorpio, it is said that the energy goes really down. And Scorpio actually is a sign where moon is debilitated in astrology. It is exalted in Taurus and it's debilitated in Scorpio. I've forgotten the nakshatra, but it's debilitated in Scorpio. So that is why moon is said to be because it stops the flow, because Scorpio's nature is stagnancy and therefore the flow is stopped. So I hope that tidbit of astrology helped those who were not aware of it, and those who were could enjoy listening to it again. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this. Naudhis or Nodhis or Nodhis. Not, I think, yeah, okay. But what is this animal? Is it I think it's a beaver of some kind. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it will be written in the guidebook. The symbolism is a little bit confusing from, I think, one of the previous ones. So it's like it's an X, but this line is not fully present. It's a little tilted. And this is like an eclipse or something because the moon's there, but it's guarded by something. It's like dark, or it's like a new moon, maybe. Wow. Then we have Isa, maybe. Wow, this is giving hanged man, guys. Yeah, I think this is going to be my cover picture for YouTube. Yeah, it's clear quartz and snowflakes, bats sleeping, waiting. This is waiting and pausing before taking action. 100% that's going to be the message or the meaning. Chira. Don't know how to pronounce it again. Flowers and honeybee. I love how the author has given these crystals. I think this crystal is like a nectar which this honeybee is taking. And I love how the wings are also very crystal-like. Very pretty, guys. Please feel free to pause and wow. It looks like a black sphinx cat. Are they sphinx cat? Are they called that? I don't know. But she's sitting on a skull. And there's flowers. Very deep. So, transforming something. Fivas. Transforming and rebirth. That's what this message feels like. I don't know. Wow. Petro. Wow. This looks like some mathematical symbol, guys. We have a snake. Interesting. The flowers are really beautiful. There's some element of poison, I think, in here. Some warning, maybe some poison. But pretty. The cards are simple, if you look at the rest of the imagery, there is one repeating theme, which is this rays of light and the stars, which is very common, but the imagery in the middle, that is what is changing. So the flowers or the plants and and the animals are changing. So it is a great deck if you want to have some animal message based deck, so you can have a lot to work with. So this is like a cut bark of the tree and mushrooms are growing from it, and we have a pentacle and we have algae, and it's called algaes or algaes. Maybe it's algaes, I don't know. And this symbolism is this is the rune symbolism. It looks like a trine. So what trine? Where did trine come from? It looks like a it looks like the trident of Poseidon. I miss spelling so much. And this is like an elk, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. See, guys. I like how the leaves are like ferny. Oh, wow! This is like a kingfisher, isn't it? So willow. This car. Again, I'm going to say it. I think anyone who's watching this would know that I'm a Harry Potter fan. This looks like this card of Harry. And I love how interesting the plants and the flowers are. They keep changing. And I love how there is a lot of yellow that's coming out. So this must show some positive message or something. And I like how the bird's expression is there. Very focused. And it's also there's a fish between her beak. So yeah, interesting. Is this Divas? Wow. Some clarity, see, it looks like an arrow. Wow, yeah, definitely some clarity, some message. The runes, they are divided into 3 sets, and they have some of the runes, many runes have messages about traveling, about They mean traveling, or they denote that some message is going to come. So this is one of those, Raido is one, Tivas I think, or Shivas, I don't know if it's a J or a T, but I think it's a Tivas, but that is what it kind of, I think, means, because there's an arrow and there's an eagle. I think these are the bald eagles, and there's a sword that this eagle is holding. So it's definitely talking about like clarity, movement, some very strong message that is going to come someone's way if somebody pulls this card or gets this rune. Okay, Barkano I remember because of its unusual name. I think it does mean abundance in some way, shape or form. The rune looks like a bee. It's a hare, guys, and the flowers are so beautiful, white, and there are crystals again. So some cards have a lot of crystals now. Like when I go to the guidebook, maybe I'll get a lot of messages and answers to a lot of questions. Then we have Evas or Faz. Don't know how to pronounce it rightly. We see okay. So this is I don't know if it's called a Evas or what is the right pronunciation, but this is like a white horse. It's beautiful. And there's a crescent moon. The letter is M. Looks like an M. The rune looks like an M. It is a very pure energy. This card is a very pure type of an innocent type of an energy. And if you look at these flowers, they are so pretty, looking like daisies. Yeah, just very innocent. Oh, a meerkat. Mannas. Curiosity. See how the rune and the face of these two look so similar. Like these two look like the eyes of a meerkat actually. It's so pretty. And again, we have a full moon. We have interesting plants and flowers. So cute. This card, Lagos. Yeah, I do remember the name of these cards sometimes, but I don't know the message or the meaning behind it. But this is like a seahorse. And I love how I don't know what these are called, but these strings like these. So pretty. Oh, the majestics. Wow. Feels like he's guarding something. Ink vase, maybe? That's how I pronounce it. Lion. Dagas, yes. Dagas I'd also read, but I forgot everything. Moth. That's what it looks like, a moth. Oh, and we see another cocoon here too. Wow. So beautiful. The imagery and the symbolism is the reason I bought this, because I knew that there would be... What is this? Guys, I don't know. This is a crab, or thala. It looks like a snow crab or like a crab. Like a molluscus. This is again very Cancerian in nature. And we have like a lot of these plants and crystals growing from the molluscus. So pretty. I hope my camera did some justice. Yeah. Very pretty. Okay. So now that we are done with the, with these, with the viewing of these cards, I'm going to just quickly shuffle them, and we're going to get a message for those who are viewing the collective, right? Okay. Please, I think you all have seen the cards, but if you are directly watching this message part, then you can just ask for some symbolism or even some animal that comes to your mind, and then we are going to also read from the guidebook, and we'll be looking into the meaning. Firstly, I will be giving an interpretation of my own as far as I can feel and imagine and understand. And then we are going to also look through the guidebook. And I'm going to take 2 cards. So yeah, let's do that. These are not gonna shuffle, guys. These are some hard ones. So I have to try and practice hard, and then I think I'll be able to shuffle them. Okay, success. Finally, you see, these are brand new, so yeah, but they are not very thick. It's good. It's good. Okay, so I think we have picked 2 cards, and excuse me for the noises that I think that are going to come around a lot, but yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Zoom in a little. Yeah, nice. Okay, so we have 2 messages. One is the Hagalas and one is the Ansus, and it's very interesting because okay, and also the top of the deck we have the one, Petro. So it's very interesting because all of the cards, if you see, the animals are not the very furry, cute and adorable kind of the animals, but these are some of the most uncommon and again poison based animals. So these are not cards that are going to have a very fluffy messages. I don't know the exact rune message that is going to come up, but I think there's a lot of like deep messages about changes, transformation, and certain important things that we need to keep in mind. And because this is again this came reversed, but in runes we don't have anything as reversed, and in oracle decks I don't know if we are going to pull in reverse, but there is no reverse usually, so I'm not going to take the reverse like that. But yeah, we have the crow with Ansus, and we have Hagalas with the scorpion, and we have the snake. So definitely messages about 8th house. So, and it fits the scenario because we are doing an occult reading, so it's very occult based messages. So many of you could be psychics or interested in the psychic things or the occult side of life. And I think there is a lot about the deep transformation as a collective that we are experiencing right now, because a lot of us are, to be very frank with you, and there is a lot of isolation that is happening. And if you look at all these animals, firstly, again, there is some important message that usually the ravens bring. We see the eye, which is definitely speaking about divination. So a lot is going on around at the moment, and my candle flame, it's just so rising high. I can't show it to you right now, but it's rising very high and it's flickering and without any movement. So I think some of you guys are relating or resonating with it. And definitely energy is present with us, so thank you for being present. But yes, definitely, because the collective is undergoing a lot of transformation during this period. This is the time when, from the Chinese years of the zodiac, there is like this transformation. So we are still in the year of snake, and around February we will be moving to the year of horse. So before that, these a few months, also Jupiter is retrograde. So it's interesting how there is a lot, the themes are more, darker, because this is not a very gentle soothing time. The year of sun has arrived, but we are creating a lot of the backlogs. We are clearing a lot of our pent up energies, a lot of the things, a lot of mistakes are being checked, and a lot of deep messages and deep, transformations, which is going to be very individualized for everyone. So your journey won't be similar to my journey won't be similar to your journey. But these, messages, these cards, these are just definitely, they are talking about a deeper level of transformation and a deeper level of experiences right now, which are not always, which are not very positive, but they are the transformations which are bringing your shadow side out. But at the same time, it is going to lead to some positivity and some, integration of your own shadow side. So as per my understanding, I'm going to give this message, and now we will be looking into the deck book. Because see, the way I mentioned, remember the sting and how the energy, these lightning bolts are moving from the sting. And this sting, it looks like the scorpion is actually going to sting itself, and I'm not sure, but I think sometimes when scorpions sting others, maybe their tail falls off or some kind of these things are there. So it's, the message is heavily about our own shadow side, I feel, which we are dealing with in the current times. At least I am going through that, and I think many of us are also going to go through that. Okay, so yeah, before anything else, I say also one more important thing. I think that as a collective, I'm in India, so India is going through the winters, and I think a lot of other countries, around in Asia and everything, it is the winter season, right? So except maybe some other hemispheres of Earth. So I think a lot of birds, wow, when I said birds, just two birds just flew outside of the window. Okay, but yeah, I think birds are a very important message. Okay, so if you see a bird that is sitting around your window every day, or if you notice a particular kind of bird every day, or some birds are nestling or creating nests around your house every day, so then these are very important messages. So these birds are very important for you, and I think that you have to pay attention to these birds, and you have to listen to what they are trying to say. Look up to the birds symbolism, and definitely try to search for the meaning, because they are trying to give you some indication, some message. For example, if they are like too small, if they are like in pairs, so then there could be a message about finding your partner, maybe like a twin flame message, or maybe something about soulmates. If you see birds are quarreling or they're fighting with each other, then you get the idea, right? So yeah, um that's what I'd like to say as in messages. Okay, all right, now we're going to look into the guidebook and see what the messages are. Okay, the highly intelligent, yeah, I hope it's visible. The highly intelligent raven is always alert, and like the god Odin's ravens, Hugin, thought, and Munin, memory, who are his eyes and ears out in the world, he is always collecting information. Flying high, he has a clear sight over all. You can hear him calling out as he passes on messages of both good news and warning. Ansos is the rune of Odin, of the divine breath of all creation, and is also called the messenger rune. In reading, it brings a message of divine inspiration, creation, formation, transformation. It indicates a strong presence of your ancestors and ancestral line. Ansos represents arrival of a revelation or insight. Language, with all its uses and power, is central to this rune. In reverse, this rune warns of misunderstandings, delusion, and possible manipulation. Be aware of bad advice. Interesting. So we are taking reverses actually. Okay, so Hagalas has to be in reverse. Okay. Nice. So yeah, we got the message. Also one more thing about ravens is that ravens and crows are the only beings and the only kinds of birds that can actually travel across realms. So they can actually go to the underworld and they can also go to heaven realms, okay? Or the higher dimensions and the lower dimensions. So definitely, connecting to your ninth house, eighth house, you have messages. So I think those houses are activated. Astrology people, you know what I'm talking about, and I hope you got your message. And in keywords, we have communication, insight, divine inspiration, order, true vision. So yeah, I think it's very interesting, and the guidebook has a lot of messages. It has a message, it has a keyword, and it has magical workings. So I'm not going to go into the details of the magical workings, which are mainly, I think, relating to spells, or if somebody's into witchcraft, then that's a different kind of a message, right? So I'm not going to go to that. But yes, communication, and again, because it's bird, so definitely communication and listening skills, or understanding that something is happening. And basically, I think when I interpret this further after getting the guide, so this is like, during this time we are all in the brink before something happens, and this something would probably be happening around March and April, because then the planets would again shift a little, so you will feel some changes. So that is a time when further changes are going to happen, and before that further change happens, I think this is the time when we are getting hints, clues, and messages, and we have to prepare ourselves for that, okay? So yeah, and now we go to Hagalas. Okay, now we go to Hagalas, and this guidebook is divided into three parts, as you can see. So, okay, Perthro is later, or have I missed it? Yeah, it is later. So, we are gonna go with Hagalas at Scorpion. Okay. The scorpion is not soft or gentle. She is, however, vital to the natural balance of life. Without her sharp sting to clear the weak, stagnant, and diseased, life would never be able to grow back stronger and renew. Exactly right. So basically, clearing up our shadow sides. That was what the message was kind of denoting, with Hagalas. But because it's in reverse, before I read it, I think we need to look into our shadow side. So basically, okay, sorry for that brief interruption, but yeah. So, yeah, so we were talking about how this, but in reverse, here also I think you'll have the message. So there is stagnation. So whoever, the collective I'm channeling for, there is a clinging to the past and being unable to, connect to your future. So I think that, when we look into the message of this card, it does show that there is, in reverse, there is stagnation. We are not able to accept the shadow side, this collective, or maybe we are still undergoing the shadow side and we are not able to move past that, difficulty of acceptance, or maybe we are not yet aware of how our shadow side is actually, creating problems for us. Hagalas is a freezing storm, but its hail and ice will melt, becoming water to nourish new growth. See, freezing storm, right? So it's frozen water, dead water. The first rune of the second ayat, it represents the beginning of a testing time. Only by weathering the storm will you develop and grow. Also called the mother rune, it can be destructive force of nature. The storm out of your control can feel painful and unfair, but this disruption or unwelcome change will bring positive transformation and long-term gain. In reverse, this rune is a warning against stagnation, victimhood, and clinging to the past. It is a reminder to avoid placing the blame. So yeah, I think the message is very clear. If you are undergoing some pain, try to look into where have you gone wrong in creating that pain. Have you contributed in some way, shape, or form in creating that painful experience with somebody? And if you have not, then maybe in some previous lifetime or in some past of this particular lifetime, if you're not a believer of reincarnation, then in this lifetime, have you ever heard somebody or done something which was wrong, and this is now coming back in a particular way, because this is how things work, and we are at the brink of the end of a 9-year cycle and beginning another 9-year cycle with this. So from 2017, if you start thinking and wondering that if anything has gone wrong, or if you have done anything for which you have not yet made amends, then please do so. If you cannot reach that person, then just to the spirit, go speak your heart out and apologize, or show, or whatever way, make those amends. Give out the expression to the universe that whatever it has happened, or however you want to communicate your experiences, please do so. It is very important to get these out of our systems, otherwise these cycles and patterns keep on getting repeated. Okay, keywords are disruption, endings and beginnings, transformation, radical change, completion. So yeah, beautiful message. And I think one magical working, I kind of think that this could be good if you all saw, would be that carry this in your pocket. It is helpful for shadow work and is best reserved for when you are facing significant struggle. Write the rune on a natural object like a piece of wood or a stone. Carry this in your pocket so you can touch it to receive strength when needed. So yeah, again, I mean, of course, these are of shadow work cards, right? I have told that before. I think anybody who is into this practice would be able to see and understand. So yeah, you can carry these as a on your in your pocket when you need, and you can draw the symbolism, carry it in your pocket, and when you need it, if you want to. It's not a hard and fast rule that you have to. Now, Petro was the bottom up of the it is like the top card or the bottom card, whatever it is of the deck. So I'm not going to read it, but yeah, I think the message is pretty clear about changes and transformation that is happening, and it is very important for all of us to accept these changes, try to see what kind of role we have played, and I think there could be some guidance also to look around in your surroundings, look and try to find out what is happening. So there you go, small message for everyone, for the collective, and I hope you all enjoyed the reading and the shuffling of the deck, and also the cards that the unboxing. So yeah, thank you, bye bye, and please subscribe if you want to, and yeah, thank you, bye.